Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to another Rage video, where tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I never thought I would see myself doing this. Yes, this is World Star Hip Hop, and I genuinely did not think I would ever consider myself doing this, but here we are, ladies and gentlemen, and we're coming straight off the back of 1985 by J. Cole, and we're going off it with a guy called YBN Cordae, and apparently this is a response to J. Cole's 1985. It's not a diss track, it's a response to him, which I'm not too sure. Do you think it would have drawn... Well, if anything, I think this is sort of what drew a lot of attention to, perhaps 1985, because when you literally have it, J. Cole 1985 response, that's what's going to people maybe think, wait, well, what's all this about? Now, apparently, the idea is that, actually, I want to see what the response is, because to be honest, when you title your song Old, you know, that leaves me to believe that this is like a diss towards the older generation, those who've been around, you know what I mean? And I'll get into what I think about that in a second, but right now we've got to check out what YBN's got to say. And you know what? This is a fair and impartial channel. We will hear. We've heard the prosecuting attorney, and now we're hearing the defense. So YBN, please step up to the mark and let's see what the fuck you got to say. Maybe I should just get a new computer altogether, because this thing's... Oh, here we go. YBN. There it is. It's even using the same beat as well. That's...
Old niggas and new niggas, now what's the difference? All in the same boat, in the stuck position. So when the old nigga talking, I don't fucking listen. They don't know every day we make tough decisions. It seems though we is at a generational gap, which bring conversation in a statement. In fact, we can agree none of us is supposed to make it in rap. I understand both sides, let me break it in half. Let's take it back when hip-hop originated, and old niggas said it was whack, they couldn't take it, and called it a little trend set and wouldn't last. Now it's the #1 genre as the time passed. Young niggas won't listen and we know it, but old niggas always talking, never show it. You gotta practice what you preach, and the classes that you teach will eventually listen. My mind mentally prison. Lately all my idols, they've been failing me. Catch a sexual assaults and some felonies. Then you want me to listen what you...
Well, okay, while it's stuck, pause right there. If anything, it is kind of using a lot of the coattails of J. Cole's 1985, but this is the other side of the coin. This is what you gotta... I think the case YBN is opened up with is the fact that he's literally... Whether he was around during the beginning or whether or not he would have been around now, it's always the world is against him. There's always this sense that somebody is always going to have a problem with him because of the decisions he's made. Now, you could say whether or not that's because of the color of his skin, or whether or not the people just were very close-minded to rap. It's a little bit difficult to say, to be honest. But what I think is really cool about how things have gone is the fact that he's trying. YBN is trying to make the case that, you know what, you trying to look down on all of us. You're not actually saying what you think's quite cool about it. You're not trying to even join in either. You're not even just trying to even if you didn't want to make something serious, want to just make something joke, make something funny. Do what you don't ever see Slim Shady do one of those comedy skits he did on his earlier stuff, only to the style of something like mumble rap either. You could have done something like that, and who knows, maybe he did. I don't know. And then it even goes on to mention is that lately all my idols been failing me, catching sexual assaults and some felonies. that might be of a really good important case. Is that, to be honest, YBN could be looking saying that the people looking down on him are not exactly picture perfect role models either, especially on stuff like this. And again, think about it like this: wasn't it true that DMX before he died he had 17 children and went bankrupt like 7 times? And because he didn't write a will, that means that his family and all of his kids have to go through like legal issues so they can actually claim some of the royalties for the stuff he sold over the years. To be honest, that's a pretty fucking scummy thing to do. I mean, I don't know whether or not DMX ever took out any life insurance or anything like that. Though, to be completely honest, if you're willing to have 17 kids, I'd like to imagine that DMX's, his attention was not drawn towards long-term plans either, or at the very least, things that he probably wasn't prepared for, because his death was rather unexpected, if I'm being completely fair, and it did take a lot of people by surprise. So it's not that I think this isn't a bad argument to make, but the case I'm trying to make is that why I think this is more drawn to the fact that YBN is just looked down upon before he's even begun. And I have often said that the real people that merit pity in this world are those who have been doomed from the very start. But the other case you could make absolutely is that YBN was not doomed from the very start. He actually has quite a lot of great opportunities. He's got a very good mind. I think that, I don't know too much about his personal background in that, but he looks as if he knows the differences between right and wrong, and knows he wouldn't, look towards people who think, sexual assault or even pissing on a girl is funny or cool or anything like that. And again, maybe that's also another issue, is that guys like Uzi Vert and a lot of other guys, like Lil Xanax or something like that, they do not set like a good example for up and coming rappers as well. Because I know a few I know guys like the Mr. Ruler, for example. I think a lot of the stuff he makes is pretty cool, and yet nobody talks about him. And this guy literally avoided very serious prison time. And you know what? For something he didn't do. Why is nobody talking about that? Or what about a lot? It's like there's stuff that doesn't reflect the whole of the rap scene for a lot of the younger up-and-comers and stuff like that. But there's also no real like sympathy or help from those who see. I mean, there are obviously some cases out there. I know that Drake did one or two stuff with Draco the Ruler. I know that Eminem did a lot of stuff with. Oh God, who was he, by the way? Like that poor kid who died of a seizure, I think it was. Yeah, it was on the tip of my tongue. But there are so many guys out there who had so much potential. Even Mac Miller. Mac Miller was very, very much could have been great if he was still around, and a lot of his stuff did seem to have a lot of depth and a lot of impact. And then of course there's the big one, XXXTentacion, and this guy was like 8 years older than me. And X's story is tragic as it's one of the most tragic backstories you're probably likely to hear. A guy who grew up surrounded by violence, and it seemed to only inbreed more violence into him. But you know what? He and Ski Mask, the Slump God, at least I think it was Ski Mask. I think I'll have to again double check. But X did actually quite a lot of compounding stuff. I know that, Look at Me might not be as, like, insanely played as it was 5 years ago. But what a lot of stuff like X represented is that he was a young guy who was very, very angry with the world. It's a lot of his stuff, including stuff like Sad, one of his last actual records, it all seemed to reflect the fact that he was just angry with the world, and he wasn't given the opportunities that so many of us had. And I like to imagine in some way that's that's the story for so many rappers nowadays, young and old, is that they were not given the best opportunities in the world. Maybe they weren't born with great parents or had that great of a brain. And you know what? It's, again, you take a look at that angle, and I really do feel kind of very sorry for quite a lot of rappers nowadays because of the violence surrounding a lot of their stuff and the fact that they are almost always always being hunted and stuff like that. Like they're like enemies from, their day, and even going all the way back to Eazy-E, a lot of his stuff seemed to be absolutely mired in violence, and that's bloody tragic, to be honest, when you lead a rap game a game that seemed to have no winners whatsoever. And again, I really do feel kind of sorry for so many of these guys. Not all of them, because let's face it, again, in the cases of, R. Kelly and Kanye, let's be completely honest, they had literally all the opportunities in the world and they blew them because of who they actually turned out to be. Some of them, again, make bad decisions and stuff like that. 50 Cent, T-Pain, guys who blew all their money and stuff like that. Some who are still incredibly successful, but maybe it's just a part of how it is. Now, I apologize again if I'm talking in excess, because stupid the internet's busted again. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off, recharge my camera, and literally we'll go from there, because I'm not giving up on this, and I don't want to give up on YBN either, because I admire absolutely that, to be honest, he had the fucking bollocks that he wanted to say something about this. This is the equivalent of when I was at university and there was a large group discussion and people were just saying the things people wanted to hear. And I was always the kind of guy who would say, well, what about, gotta think about stuff like this, this, and this. And I didn't get a lot of response because, to be honest, I don't think a lot of people really liked me at university, because I was the only one who really wanted to say the things that nobody really wanted to hear. And it is how it is. And it's the thing you got to mention is that there's the other side of the coin, and it's, mind you, with that being said, it really says something about the generational gap when they think 33 is old. That's 33 is no age. I mean, god damn it, what happens when I turn 33? Well, will I garner the respect of other people or not? So yeah, we're gonna catch up on that. But thanks so much for this very short intermission. Sorry guys, I'm back. So after taking a short break and also what I can only describe as the biggest dump I've took in literally 16 hours. Shit was nasty. You know what I'm saying? We're back. So let's see what else YBN's got for himself.
Lately, all my idols, they've been felling me. Catch a sexual assaults and some felonies. Then you want me to listen what you telling me, and wanna hate when we sing our little melodies. And other idols, they be broke, get your funds in order. And Kanye West is a Trump supporter. Then we got R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, who still probably got little girls in the Hills lobby. And these supposed to be our heroes? Negro, please. Old niggas unreliable like D-Rose knees. Only man I can trust is G.O.D. Not to mention Mos Def and Talib Kweli. Now I get it, y'all think new niggas really suck, and white kids fucking love it, little silly ducks. But I know it's a lie, bullshit going on, I understand. But please don't complain without a plan. Ironically, I wrote this whole song off of Xan, now I'm playing. I'm just trying to be a fucking man. We see you old niggas as a lot of clowns. Not to mention our father figures was not around. So we all on tours and we hopping towns. We just need to sit down and find common ground. And greatness. Soon to come, soon to come. Hip hop need balance like the moon and sun. It feel good when I wear Christian Louboutins. So I gotta drop music to accrue some funds. And I get it, that's the mindset that's killing a rhyme fest, but feeding our families, lowering the crime. Yet you want us to beef, separate, and make a contest. Rapping to stay about the streets, shouldn't mind that. Staying out of prison, and we saying fuck the system, man. Rapping is our outlet to go and get our dividends, rather than out robbing niggas selling Ritalin. Old niggas bitter, y'all should love it when a nigga win. We came from the same struggle like Diddy and Dame Russell was teaching and gained hustle. Got rich, remain subtle. See, I listen. See, I listen. But Lil Day water whipping in the kitchen, ready to flip a pack and bring it back, no submission. Gotta just go attack, little pumped when you're dissing. I understand both sides of the ziplock. Your old niggas' time is coming, nigga, TikTok. I'ma still wear all my Gucci flip-flops and the fucking diamond chain with the big rocks. And I be the greatest ever, nigga, just watch. Cardi B got rich from loving hip-hop.
Jesus. So now we hear like both sides of the case, and now we almost like gotta reach some kind of verdict, because to be honest, there's a lot of parallels to be drawn from both of these, and I gotta be completely honest, I think this is the sort of response, not this is the sort of response you absolutely want to get. You want something that addresses like the criticisms you made. You gotta sort of like explain maybe where this is all coming from, and then you go on and say that why their response is, well, why the original was maybe had its issues too. Because it's like I said before, maybe a lot of these rap guys who got into the game, they didn't come from great families. Maybe they didn't have parental figures, or who had parents who, you know, listened or loved them. Maybe they just had each other, and maybe they wanted a way out of this, and why not, you know, make what you love into your day job, or make it something that, you know, you're going to be remembered for. That's their impact, that they're going to be remembered. And I think that should be more important than anything else, is that you're going to be remembered. Maybe, and that's going to be your impact. That's going to be your legacy. And again, I do kind of funny how what I said about, you know, Gucci Gang in the last time is that they still enjoy it. I mean, there's a lot of things back from 2009, and some things that, you know, I do enjoy that I wouldn't be too proud to admit, like a lot of the really cheesy and corny stuff from when I was still listening to pop music. A lot of it's corny, and maybe none of it's that great, but it's kind of what I grew up with. It's stuck in my mind a little bit, and it's very hard to get rid of. But on the whole, ladies and gentlemen, I must say YBN's response was actually very, very well thought out. It addresses the problems that Cole didn't address when Cole was basically dissing a lot of the younger generation, but we also get the impression that it's just sort of who they were and what they had to look up to, because some of these guys didn't have the sort of rap artists to look up to. When again when he goes off about Cosby and R. Kelly and Kanye, I think, in all honesty, to really summarize this video and to summarize both songs, is that I can see Cole's point of view about where he got to where he was because he chose the right option. And I can also see YBN Cordae's response, not because it's maybe not be the best or the right option, but it was his option, and it's a part of his history. This is just sort of, I think when you look at it this way, is that YBN's life is not extraditable. It's not something that, you know, he could just go back and change. It's like somebody saying that my life would have been so much better if I went through, did this and did this and did that. It would have been, but exactly how do we know it would have been? How do I know I wouldn't have made the same problems that I did throughout the other things in my life? We can't change the past, but we can change the future. And that's where you got to find the common ground, is that what's done is done, but we've got to move forward. We can't live in the past. That's what it should be all about. That is the common ground between both. Both of these guys should get rich for love and hip-hop. That's what it should be. It should be about the music, you know what I'm saying? So, on the whole, I just want to say good luck to both of them. And I hope we can find some common ground. Because again, how many people does it take till we know that too many people have died? Some without even making it at all. Some without even getting to the first hurdle. Some who have been gone too soon, and some who were unfairly taken away in their prime. So anyway, I hope all of you guys have enjoyed YBN's Cordae's response to 1985. Please make sure to leave all your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys thought of old and, for yourselves. And I cannot wait to see all of you guys again in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye for now.